Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Monday. Thank you guys for being here for another Mindful Merchants Live. You guys know who I am, Cali Reseller Luis, and this guy here on the side, my co-host, the Lone Star Picker, and
Guess who we have today?
our very special guest today. We have Leslie, a real seller's passion.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm super excited. I can't wait to dive in.
Oh, yes. Okay, I do hear a little feedback. I don't know. Let me just make sure if that wasn't me. And usually I got mine on mute.
No, you're good.
Okay, I just heard a little bit of an like an echo, like it was like the background of YouTube. But guess what? Real quick, let's just say hi to a couple people, and then as we go along, Leslie, we're just going to greet people as they come in. But it looks like we already have 7 watchers coming in. And yeah. I see that Johnny, let me go ahead and figure out what I'm doing here. So I always forget to do that. And Johnny Root, he's Cajun Roots Reseller, used to live in Louisiana, is now way up in the northeast, I think it is. He's here. Thank you for being here, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
And hi, Johnny.
Johnny has a bingo thing tonight. So if you all get a chance, go and check them out. We're going to remind everybody, try to remember. We're going to try to be mindful and remember to let everybody know that right after the show, he's got a bingo.
So once we're done with interviewing with Leslie, make sure you guys go ahead and go to Johnny's channel so you guys can have some fun and play some bingo and win some cool prizes.
Right.
Yeah, Johnny gives us some fun stuff. And then we got Miss Sandra Thompson. She's my neighbor that lives north of me. And I'm in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And Luis is out of California, down sort of the south, but a little bit east of California. I mean, East LA, excuse me. Sorry.
Yep.
And Miss Leslie, where are you from? Would you mind giving a quick introduction to everybody?
Don't mind. Well, first I want to introduce myself. Yes, my name is Leslie Tucker, better known as a Reseller's Passion, all over social media. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube. I have a podcast, and I'm currently on Clubhouse. Wow. And I'm originally from Philadelphia, living in Delaware, about to move to North Carolina.
So you can move to North Carolina.
Yes. The hubby and I, we're almost in the empty nester stage. My husband and I have a blended family of 10 children. Woo, I said say that. And our children are 18 and are college students. And our goal was to move. We've been kind of waylaid because of everything that's going on in the world. But in May we're moving. Yes.
That is something else. You must. We're gonna have to watch your journey on that one. Yeah. Yep. So all those platforms, you guys, just in case you're not aware, anybody that's coming in, we're gonna say hi to you in a minute. But Leslie, we have all your links down below. So everybody in the live, and we're gonna repeat this again. So if you're watching this on a pre-recorded, thank you and welcome. Make sure to like and subscribe, Leslie. We have our links down below. Leslie, once again, welcome. Thank you. This is the Mindful Merchants, and we could not think of a better guest to have than you. We've been waiting to, just sneaking in there and asking, like, wonder if she'll say yes. She seems busy. You tell us a little bit about what your journey is, as of late, like what's been going on in the last year up to right about now. You can say it in a nutshell if you like.
In the last year, the word that I used for last year was pivoting. I learned how to pivot, to take what I was already using and expanding it, right? And also creating a fun platform. So I had left YouTube for a while. I left it dormant for like a year. I came back in May at 130 subscribers. And I said, let me jump back on here and see what I can do. And so from May to September, I became monetized. I'm currently at 1,600 subscribers now. So it's amazing.
Wow.
You said when you came back in May, you had how much? Did you say?
130. I took a whole year off.
You took what we would call maybe a retreat. Did you do it for?
Yes, I took a sabbatical. And the reason that I did, I started in January 2019, right? And as any reseller or anyone who wants to create content, you don't know what to do, right? So I was like, I'm not really feeling comfortable on YouTube. So I had a small community on Instagram, and I just went back there and built that community. As you can see what it looks like now, right? Mm-hmm. So I went back over there and built that community. And when I felt more comfortable, I came back and my community came with me. So from 130, May 2020, I had 130 subscribers. By September, I hit that 1,000 and that 4,000 watch hours. It was amazing, and it just keeps growing. And I have fun. You know, I'm having fun with it.
Well, you apparently are, because you're very consistent. I'm still new to the game. Luis is, probably has a little bit of an edge on me, but we're still like, we watch these number games and then we're like, we're not going to get, attached to it and whatnot. But like you said, it can be very pivoting at times where you're like, what just happened? Like, I have this many, and all of a sudden it goes up and down. And then, that's not the point. But the thing is like, you're realizing like how quick all these movements can go and how much work it takes to put into it, like the consistency. That's something I've observed watching you as of late. You have this consistent game now, and it's like you seem to be like really comfortable about what you're talking about, the way you're talking about it. And that's one thing I appreciate, that I guess, as opposed to some other content creators, not to compare you, there is this kind of relevancy of like, you just seem to really know what you're about and why you're there, like what it is that you're doing,
I think that comes with age as well, right? Like, I'm 51. So I know I don't.
I was going to ask you, but I never would dare do that. I saw your coffee mug.
I was born day man walked on the moon, y'all. So
you and me, we're brother and sister in 1969. So.
1969, the summer of 69. A lot of stuff went on.
But it was also a very. Yeah, that was a very
here. Hey, all kinds of stuff went on in 69.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Like, wasn't it the year before that? Which is, by the way, today is Martin Luther King Day.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes. Talk about that. So, in April of 1968, Martin Luther King was assassinated. This celebration celebrates his birthday today, but his actual birthday is January 15th. So it's always that third Monday in the month that they celebrate. And he definitely was a dreamer. He was a peacemaker. And not only, as Luis said, he was diverse. He was diverse community. It wasn't just about African American or Black people.
Well, right? I mean, it depends on who's looking at it, the perspective and understanding the history. And tragically, I think the history, like, I've watched the discourse about Martin Luther King since I was a little itty kid, and I'm telling you, so you and I, we can say that we both get this in terms of a historical lineage of like where our age, our generation goes. But do you remember this? I do this, Leslie. I'm sorry to change subjects real quick. Okay. Do you remember? I remember when we were probably like just still coming out of elementary. I know I'm pretty certain I was in middle school, so I'm sure you were as well. Was the day that there was a young lady who went to I think it was Congress or something, or she went to one of the statesmen and made that a national holiday.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes,
remember
I actually think it was his wife who went before Congress.
Okay, it may have been her, but I remember a story. There was a young lady, but I'm sure it was MLK's wife that went right along with her and stepped it up. But this is what a teacher told us back in the day, and I think we had newspapers, and it was this young girl. But what it may have been was, it may have been Martin Luther King's wife, but this young lady may have been the one that brought the paperwork.
Everything, we're here, and that's what matters. Like, my husband is actually older. He's 12 years older than me, so he actually lived through the civil rights movement, and he's seen so much and can tell so many stories. So it's an incredible thing. Like, we see it in the books and hear, watch the footage and all that, but to
hear the quotes, but it's so much deeper.
Yeah, to be there is an amazing thing. But he was such an incredible person in terms of what he was trying to do. And I think just as a society, if we take a little bit of that, we can be successful, like starting in our own home, right? And just teaching our children just the basics from right from wrong, whatever your philosophy is, just right from wrong. You know what's right, you know what's wrong, and just, teach them to be, kind humans. I raise, kind humans.
I think everybody's perspective. I really want to give me a second. I'm going to probably say hi, because I see that we have like 18 people in here so far. So we're really grateful. That's a pretty good number for us. We fluctuate, but we've had, various numbers. But let me just real quick, Les, let me say hi. And then I want to go back to that thought. So hold that thought. And it has to do with one of your latest posts. We did say hi to oh, I got to go to the other screen. I always get mixed up between the YouTube screen and then the live chat with everybody here. We had Miss Sandra Thompson. She's up in north of Austin from me. Jay Marie is here. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Mo is he's an awesome guy too. His name,
hey, Mo.
Yeah, he reseller niche. Mo. Yeah. Miss Jennifer, are you aware of Miss Jennifer? You will Jennifer. Be after this.
Hey, okay. Hey, Jennifer, what's going on?
Miss Jennifer, once she catches on to you, she's going to go into one of your lives one day, and she's going to throw up every single link you have or help. We call her the queen moderator. She's the queen of blue wrenches.
She's the queen of moderating.
Nice, I love it.
Her little, what do you call it? You know, she has her tiara. She has got a blue wrench in a hand. You know. Far North. All right, so we got there's Far North Life. Thank you for coming. We appreciate seeing you. I believe it's all the way up in Alaska.
In Alaska, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Maggie Doodle, Thrift Shop Fashionista. She's awesome. Maggie. And whoever's in here, come say hello. You guys, if you're shy, you normally don't say hi, say something in the chat. We're just going to ask you if you have any questions, put them in caps. Hyphy Gold, he's out of San Francisco. His real name is Topher. Thank you for coming.
Topher.
Oh, and how could I forget? Mrs. Summers?
Summers. How you doing, Summers? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, so thank you. I think we got caught up for the moment. I want to back up real quick. And, yeah, she's like, what did it do? Topher. I love to watch the chat. They like it all. What did they just say? Oh, they're talking to each other, you know. And, so today I woke up and I was extremely elated when I read your post, and I thought, thank you, Lord, because there are some times you do walk in and you'll walk in whatever your social media is, whether it's Facebook. And I'm not much on Facebook anymore. I mean, there's a lot of reason for resellers to maybe want and need it. I find it a little different. I don't know what it is. I caught the bug on Instagram, and it just seems a little more organic and quick, and we can, you know. But when I saw your post, there's very few that touch me like this today. And you use the keyword service, which I noticed you were starting to talk about when we were talking about Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
One of my things, my historical relevance and understanding and context to Martin Luther King became deeper when one day on my, I don't, it's not a religion, it's religious practice, more of a spiritual practice that I like to consider it is. And it is about mindfulness, and contemplation is part of it. And when I found out a gentleman by the name of, give me a sec, Thich Nhat Hanh, who I was studying, who practices meditation and mindfulness, didn't know until one day I was doing some historical reading. He was an advisor to Martin Luther King.
Wow.
And he taught Martin Luther King. He was one of the guys. And the only reason I knew is because there was a monastic by the name of Thomas Merton that knew Thich Nhat Hanh. And they're all three of them, even I would say all the way up into, so the lineage is there, that Martin Luther King took on the same mindfulness practice of what we call peaceful protest. And they took it from, of course, Gandhi and what, you know, and so I just went, I love this. I didn't know. I've been studying, Thich Nhat Hanh all along. I already knew about Martin Luther King, but I didn't know that about him, that he was so adamant, although, in a time of turmoil, that bringing something to people and giving his gift. And I think that was one of his main services. He gave himself, literally. I mean, as we know to this day. So when I saw your post, can you talk a little bit about your Instagram? And because there's an Indian word, and I mentioned this, ask Luis, I mentioned this, I'm going to go on and I'll be quiet in a minute. There is this word called seva in the Indian tradition. And I don't know, it's not necessarily religious, but there is this spiritual practice called seva, which is selfless giving. And we practice that at my community, my church, where I go. And so when I read you were talking about what you defined service as, please let us know. I mean,
so my post today, I took a photo. I take all my own selfies of me cleaning my bathroom, and we often think about today, one is a holiday, first of all, but then second as a national day of service. And years ago, what happened?
I'm sorry, I put you on so late so we can
Whoa.
We gotta see your face. We'll put you back.
Ooh, spotlight.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have warned you.
a national day of service where people can basically give back to the community. You find an organization, a soup kitchen. My children used to work at the food bank that you can give back to. But in the times that we're going through right now, think of where you can give service right now, and that should be to your family, to your home. What about cleaning your home? What about giving service to your husband, to your children? So often we want to give things away outside, but it's discourse in the home. So I think it's really important to do that. And then secondly, I love giving back to my community. Instagram is my jam. Like people show up for me every single day, and I want to give to them what they give to me. I want to just pour life and speak life into people every single day. And I have fun doing it. And that's
Love that. And you also mentioned another thing. I'm going to just let my voice kind of go over into this, and you can curtail back into it. Is you also talked about being of service to yourself.
yes, I believe in that 100%. Especially at my age, again, I'll say I'm 51. We don't take care of ourselves. We don't. And I practice self-care Sunday every Sunday, whether it just be giving myself a facial, taking time. Louie was talking about, just like meditating and taking time for yourself. I'm all about, being grateful. I show gratitude every single morning for
I love
being
that.
here.
Thank you for mentioning
That's the first thing I do when I get up in the morning, just like showing gratitude for myself, whatever you believe in, the universe or whatever.
that.
And
Yes.
just knowing that every day is a gift. That's why it's called the present, to just
Yes.
rejoice and be thankful to be there. And taking care of myself by reading, maybe watching the programs that I like to watch, reading books that'll, build up my mind, but then also I love taking care of myself by giving service to the community. But yeah, taking care of yourself is really, really important. The older we get, we understand that a little bit more. I don't
Yes.
have babies anymore. I've been taking care of people for a long time, so I focus on me a lot.
Like you said, you're coming into that empty nest
Yeah,
situation. I'm going to bring you back with us for a little bit.
yeah. I
So,
take a nap every day. I have to push myself. Oh, I see my man Duncan. Hey, Duncan.
yeah, let's say real quick. I mean, man, just after that, people started. I said, speak up. They did. Let me tell you, and I think they're here to see you. So, we got Miranda here. As we said, Hyphy. Oh, he's also known as Topher Summers. Let me go down. I'm trying to go down fast as I can. I scrolled up. Well, and fundamentals of side hustling. He's a wonderful guy. I don't know if you know Derek.
I don't know him personally, but I have been watching his videos. He knows.
I'd love to see you on his show one day. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, he knows my husband's friend Domingo. My husband's a reseller, and Domingo lives local to us. So fundamentals of side hustle. Domingo is a friend of ours locally.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know. That's awesome. I love that connection. I love that connection. Okay. So, you said your husband's name is Domingo?
No, my husband is Thomas. He's Posture Dude X, but that's how I got started reselling 9 years ago.
I love the circles of connections that you make that, relevancy. So you were talking about like taking care of yourself, and I love that. And you did say it, maybe, I don't know if you said it a little while ago, but I remember in your post you said, taking care of yourself. It sounds cliche, but I think it's so important. It's a very mindful practice. Mindfulness is being aware. Aware is being conscious. Take care of yourself so you can take care of somebody else.
Yeah, because you can't nourish someone with an empty cup. Your cup has to be full so that then you can nourish other people. Like if you use that analogy, fill your glass, drink from it yourself, and then pass it around to the others.
Yeah. And that, see, everybody looks at that, oh, it must be full, or it must be, or are you a half, are you, it's like, you don't get it. The whole purpose is get to be full so you can give it back, because then you got room to have more again.
Yeah.
You spill it and not share it, because we talk the talk here in this community, and I think the majority, you may have heard it, you may have like, said, yeah, I know that, because you've been around long enough that this community is amazing. Like, it took me a while to get to bump into you, and I'm like, who is she? Why don't I know about her? And when I did, see exactly like what you're doing right now, that beautiful smile, you're full, you're so bubbly, you got love in your heart. I could tell. Like, it just pours out there.
I love to laugh. Like in my videos, if you ever watch my videos, there's a lot of bloopers. I call myself on the bloopers, but I like it. They're not perfect. I love my friends who
do because if it were perfect, I probably wouldn't watch you. I'd be like, I'm sorry.
I don't have time. Yeah, I don't have time for the whole editing. That's why I like lives. That's why I like these kind of shows, because it is what is, right? You know, that other stuff piecing together and
it takes time. Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, friends, up, yeah, there's the train up, it's going by, but I'm going to keep talking. That's what I do.
Did you see how is it Juju Boutique? Did you know her? Because this is her first time. I just wanted to greet her. If you're still listening, she said, hi, everybody. This is my first time joining a live chat on YouTube. I'm happy that you're here, too. Welcome. We hope you feel welcome. We hope you learned something. If you got any questions, anybody in the live chat, please jump in. Put them in both. I'm trying to catch up. Luis is going to he's going to scream at me in a minute going, you forgot something.
No, she also actually said that she's here to see Leslie, but happy to see everyone, too.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't it wonderful? Here's a really cool guy here too. Old school flips. Speaking of old people, like he's an old man. He's like 270 years old. Jimmy.
Oh, wow.
And this little inside joke. You know it. So I love
Hey,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
I love it. I mean, just being here, there are people who I don't even know, and that's what I love also about the reselling community.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. It's reciprocal.
Yeah, it goes
They
both
get to know you, and we hope you get to meet some new folks.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
And I'm excited that we just get to do this because this is valuable. This is part of that whole service, is that having a communication, but doing it mindfully, like where I'm trying to give you my best focus. And I'm just so excitable because I love hearing what you're saying, because everything you said is what I've prayed about. Like I made deep wishes, and I believe I'm a wish person, that if you really intentionally deep in your heart have a wish and you put it out there, it may not be perfect, but just be sincere about it. Put it out there, and that it will come true. And my wish is, what can this program do to help somebody else? They may be quiet and silent in that chat, but and eating and breathing this and taking it in, going, thank you for saying what you said, not knowing that that's what they needed to hear for the day.
I believe that 100%. When I go live or when I show up on Instagram, my DMs blow up on some days. And then someone will say, that's why I keep doing what I'm doing. Like, I'm a reseller, but I've moved into the motivational, inspirational space. I love speaking life and giving people what they don't feel for themselves. And if you ever watch any of my lives, I end on all of that. Like, friend, if you don't feel validated, I'll validate you right now until you feel that. And that's what I do, and I'm all about my quote that I live by is Eleanor Roosevelt: do the thing that you think you cannot do. So just every day, push yourself, do it afraid, and fail forward into success. These are the things that I speak into my community, especially women. Guys are a little bit stronger, but they're vulnerable too. And we
talk about that here. We've been talking about letting men be vulnerable.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, I'm married to a man, and that's when your spouse, you see things that other people don't see. So then that opens your eyes to, well, maybe that
there's a lot of truth. There's a there's a demographic that may not be stronger than another demographic or this or that. Right. But if we can kind of start cutting the edges on that and say, look, let's get a little more, not be so sharp about it, and let's understand the pertinence of the strength and lifting each other up.
Exactly.
Be nice, And I love that quote, because that's a quote I guess my false personality would say, no, I don't think you're good enough to get there yet. It's like, wow, self-doubting deprecation, that's one of the worst things a reseller can deal with. So real quick, you said you write. Should you keep a gratitude journal? I've seen you in your pictures. You're in bed. You're all cozy. You got your cup of coffee. And I'm just like, I want to jump in the bed too. I was like, I read those good books, and I'm like, wait a minute, she's a married woman. I can't jump in the same bed. No, I
do keep. I used to keep a gratitude journal, but I do have my planner. Hey, that's Tiana. Hey, she's part of my crew, Swag Slayer Fashion. Definitely follow her here.
Tiana, thank you for coming. We're happy to have you, Swag Slayer. I love that name.
Slayer. Oh my gosh, her word for 2021 is killer. So I'm just gonna leave it there.
And Juju says, yes, agreement. 1 million Leslie's daily positivity. Oh my God. That's amazing. Real quick, Duncan VR, he's out of Australia. This is an inside joke. I hope you get 50 more sales while you're watching our live, because every time he watches one of the lives I do, he says my sales go crazy. I'm like, good. You suck it up and just take that double-edged sword.
Yeah, Duncan hangs out with me too. Yeah, Duncan.
And once again, I got to tell you something. I think it was last night. I don't remember. Like I get to hang out with indirectly, sometimes lives, and once in a while, if I'm lucky, I get to be in a live like this with Derek. And I just remember we were talking about you and Drake. I'm like, I'm excited. You know, she is such a beautiful person.
Oh,
And I went, that is the word. Yeah, that's a word that gets thrown around there like kind of cliche. Like, no, you are a beautiful person, because watching your positivity, that's the elegance. That's where the real beauty comes out. You know, it's like, thank you for being authentic. Thank you for coming across, showing that you can be in your bed with all these positive books, because somebody may go, yeah, I need a day like that. I need.
Give it to yourself. Give it to yourself. Yeah. We deserve it. We run. We go so fast. And I tell people I've earned the right to be here. You know, I raised 5 children. Then I married a man with 5 children. I'm exhausted. I'm tired, right? So I deserve the right to take time off. I can work, you know, so many days, but when I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I work for myself. You know what? I'm just going to take a day off. That's what I did yesterday. I literally did Clubhouse from my bed. I just chilled all day long.
Yeah, but it seems like you probably never stop, because even when you're in bed, you're still kind of you're contributing to the success of your business.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Say what you were going to say.
That's the brain that keeps going, you know. But that's the key right there. It's like
it is. But I'm going to go one step farther and challenge you on it. You know, I'm right. It's this, but it's connected to this. So open mind, open heart. And I noticed that about you. You got this arduous balance, but you got it down pat. Like, you're incredible.
So, this is the key. Like, you were right. Even when I'm like relaxing, there are people. That's Nikki. I mean, that's Chandra, Glow Girl Glow. She's on my team. Hey, when I'm relaxing, I still show up, and there are people who are like, oh, I have to take a social media break. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have to take a social media break, because what I get from the community, I actually turn it around and throw the positivity back out there.
It feeds you in a way that you can give it back, right?
Yeah, and I just post something every single day. I ask questions in my stories. I put out what people want to see and hear. And again, I just try to motivate. I have such a great team. You see, like Swag Slayer and Glow Girl Glow, they're actually my personal group where I encourage them. Glow Girl Glow, we just met a year ago. She sent me a message and said, oh, I want to start doing live videos. What do I do? And I said, just do it. And now she's like a little sister to me, where she's grown and done some things.
It's interesting, because you can be in a group where you can be I don't like to use these terms too much, like you can be a mentor, but you can be there for somebody. Like, I love the young kids, like the young kids that are hungry, not the ones that are cocky and like little overly confident, you know, and they're like, but like they are thirsty, they want to know. And I met this young man at a flea market, and to this day, he's shy. And he's not, you know, he's a little bit far from me, but he lives out in the Hicks, like in the country. And it's hard, because he wants to be like some of those t-shirt rats. And I said, you're on Depop, aren't you? How'd you know? I said, here's my card. I said, if you're serious about reselling, is it reselling? I said, I don't want to assume. And he goes, yeah. I said, do you know about reselling? And he goes, this is his interpretation. I thought it was kind of cute. He goes, like Gary V? And I'm like, sort of, but we're going to bring it down a notch. But it's cute, because you see these kids and they get these high expectations, and I don't ever want to see a young one like that fall, because if he got a challenge or something like that, come and talk to, like, all I wanted to be was like a good role model, that may be a male for him, that maybe he's just another reseller, or just be a positive person in reselling, or as a business person, you know. And so it sounds like that's where you're at. But the thing is, you're in those circles, they become your friends, right?
Yeah. I see Miranda, Elijah's mom. Hey, what's going on?
Who am I missing? Oh, Miranda, thank you all for coming. We're excited. Leslie is always very uplifting. You know what? I didn't take me long, because the more I was watching, I'm like, God dang, she's addicting. She's good. But you know what? But it's good, because it's not like a good, like, where we want to be entertained, and it's kind of like a Mr. Beast, and you're kind of like, no, I'm getting something out of it, but I don't mind contributing that back. So I wish, and I hope, and I pray for your success, because I see it flourish.
Yeah.
You don't have enough people in this world to plant those seeds. So yes, you deserve it, like you were saying, Les. I think that's beautiful, because I think when you said what you said about, like, hey, listen, I have no problem, but you didn't say it with like you didn't say it with resentment, you know. You just said, I am. Maybe you did. I'm not saying you never felt resentment. Like,
No.
you know. But like my buddy Luis, you know, I know he's like, shut up, Louie. You always say this. It's like, but he's a teacher. He's the principal. He's the dad. He's a full-time reseller at home.
Yep.
While his wife is doing her duties, and she's a full-time nurse. You know,
Full-time nurse. Yep.
and like, I'm like, Luis, how do you wear all those hats? And he goes, you just do it.
Yeah, you just
Never
Yep.
begrudging. Never.
Yep.
it's good stuff, Louise. I'm so glad I'm getting to know you guys. Like,
Yep.
There's some good dudes out. We try our best. I'm not perfect. That's for darn sure. Well, I'm so glad, and it's good to meet some of your community. This is my goal, is for us to kind of be here. Let's intermingle. Everybody, if you don't have it in the chat, let me know. Or if somebody has a blue wrench, please start dropping some links. Give some share and love. What I'm going to do.
I've been doing that, Louie. I already dropped the Glow's
nice
channel and everybody that's in here. So I'm getting to it.
Because let me go back on. I forget. I got to go back on the YouTube side, and I got to give some love here. Oh, you know what? And as I'm looking at that pop out chat, I see so many people that I can give. Glow. I'm going to drop you and a moderator. If you don't mind, please redrop your link, but drop Miss Leslie's. And for us, please help us out if you don't mind. And then Swag Slayer Fashion, you're going to get a blue wrench. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
Nice.
Here we go.
There you go. I see you. Okay. So those two ladies, they're the young. Actually, they're the same age. These two young ladies who are kicking butt. Swag Slayer Fashion. I can't keep up with her. Nikki Glow. She teaches budgeting, and again, she just showed up one day and said to me, "I want to go live." She literally puts her whole paycheck out there and tells you from which she started, how much she's paid. She's paying her car off. She is amazing. She's amazing. I tell her
now you got me all inspired. That's one of my 2020. I know we like 2021's here. Let's talk about that in a minute. But that was one of my aims and goals. What are some of your aims and goals? Because I'm a firm believer you can have all these goals, and everybody talks about the goal, and you got to meet that goal. What about your little aims that like have a daily aim to meet that weekly goal, to meet that monthly goal, to meet?
Yeah. I write down 5 things a day, hoping to get 5 done, but 3 is it. If I can get 3 things done today, that's my mommy head. And I learned that from like raising 5, right? 5 personalities, trying to keep up with 5 children.
And you be happy if 3 are satisfied.
Exactly. And that's and I tell people, because they want to, be focused. You can do it however you want, but like you have a calendar and you're looking at it, and you're overwhelmed. I have a calendar, yes, because I want to make sure I'm on here with you. I want to make sure my guests, I show up for them, but for the daily stuff, just write down 5 and focus, and that's all I can do.
What I like about that is this: there's a part of like, so in a minute, I'd love to hear about some of your mindful technique practices. Maybe you already mentioned them indirectly, but that idea of like, give me, write down 5. I've learned that quick when I do a to-do list. Don't get mad at yourself, especially it's non-critical observation. I call it. That's a practice I like to use.
Right.
So non-critical observation. You observe that you've written down your 5 on your list. You wanted to at least get 3 done, but you only got 2. That's okay too. That's 2 more you didn't get done. Because emergencies come up, things come up. What other kind of observations, or I'm going to call them methods? Techniques are a little bit different, but methods can be, procedures that you like to take in terms of your mindful practice throughout the day. I've seen some of them, but maybe some people here are not familiar with you.
That's a really good one. Got me there. No, again, morning before my feet touch the floor, it all starts in gratitude. That's really what it is for me. Just being thankful because someone didn't make it, right? And so I'm truly thankful, especially as I'm aging, to be here, and just thankful for my family and my children, that everyone is safe, and as long as they contact me once a week, I'm good. But then I get into this space. I have to have my coffee every single day. Every morning I go down and make my coffee. And then from there, I decide, like, what do I want to do? Right. And I get in a space of quiet. Like my husband I have 2 girls home. They're older. Did somebody put out the trash? I'm like, look, I needed just to be quiet for a little bit. Like if I can have 30 minutes of quiet where I can have my coffee and I'm just sitting here, I'm good for a while, and it gives me a chance to write down in my planner what I want to work on, the most important things, and then I get going. I get going. But then the other thing that I don't have in my life or that I don't allow is stress. We're all going to have stress. So don't get me wrong with that. But like reselling can be very stressful. And
Yeah,
I'm not
it can.
yeah, I'm not just a reseller. I'm an entrepreneur. Reselling is just like really a small part. If you're watching me, you can see I have an ebook, I have the podcast, I have the YouTube channel, I have one-on-one consultations.
Yeah.
Clubhouse has already been like instrumental in bringing people my way. So I just take my time with what I do every single day, not to overwhelm myself. And
Hmm.
if I get stressed, then I move into creative mode. So
Nice.
like I paint, I crochet, I tie
I
dye.
was gonna say, yeah, there's a picture that you sent me that we used on our thumbnail. Did you paint that picture?
Which picture? Oh my, the picture I sent you on the thumbnail.
Yeah. Well, you can answer that later, but like, yeah, there was a beautiful. It reminds me. I don't think it's the same one that's above you on
Okay,
your.
okay.
Did you paint that one?
I probably this one I painted right here. This is mine, and then on my mannequin is a tie dye shirt. Like I crocheted for years. I had a successful Etsy business. That was my first like selling platform. But my
Okay.
carpal tunnel and arthritis said, yeah. So in 2018, I closed that.
Hmm.
Started reselling right in 2016. But last year in May of 2020, I said I just want to learn how to tie dye. I taught myself
Nice.
how to tie dye.
I'll reach out to you now because I do. Yeah, I got some projects.
Oh my gosh, I put that out to the community,
I
and
have a
people
master's in art, so I love creativity. But
oh,
I'm going to interject real quick because you
sure.
said a lot, and I'm like, oh, gosh, she's just full of. She's got it. Is that it sounds like, and I love it because I come from a community that we call ourselves a contemplative community. What it entails is it's a community about silence. It's almost like I'm like, did this derive from Quakers, or like you hear about Quakers that are like they're
Well,
about enjoying that.
I'm from Pennsylvania. I know all about the the
Well,
Quake.
it might be that direct energy or influence, or who knows? I don't know what all these practices come in. They come in together, and they kind of like, yeah, I need that start to the day. I don't want that noise, like outer influence. One of our practices says, oh gosh, now I'm gonna get it incorrect, but I'm gonna paraphrase it. It's like your outer influences that penetrate you, is what's gonna make you kind of like, like you said, where you get up and you ground yourself. Luis, I'm sure every morning he's got his little practice where you got the kids. Okay, what comes first? Well, definitely dad needs to come first. I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go, whatever it is. And then just, give me my drink or something, or, and then get them kids. All right, let's get it going. But you, like you said, you said something very intriguing. I'm not just a reseller. And I love that because I think a lot of us we have a close couple. When I say a close community, I see it as bubbles within bubbles, but we're all interconnected no matter what. We're all one. I'm sure you agree. But interchanging in that, we're running across these other ponds that kind of, have all these like microcosms, if you will. Is we do this, not all of us are resellers per se. Like we're selling something. I don't care. You could be on YouTube. You're a content creator. That's an aspect of reselling. I'm reselling the package called me, but I'm not just a reseller.
Yeah.
So I love that you said, I'm not just a reseller. When did that literally like settle in your head? Like after Etsy, like when did you kind of go, yeah, I'm a lot more, and this is what I'm about. When did that hit you?
Well, I've always been that way. So Etsy was one of my businesses, but I'm also a professional baker by trade. I'm ServSafe certified. So before I met my husband, I was baking in cafes in Philly. So that was what I did for years before I moved to Delaware. And so I had my own dessert business. I've had like small businesses for a long time. That's how, even once I got divorced, I was able to take care of myself and my children in addition to my job. So I've always considered myself to be an entrepreneur. My mind is always going, creating new ideas for myself. And so reselling, I fell into that. I call it my love story because my husband is a retired firefighter, veteran of the Air Force, and he was already retired when I met him. We've only been together for 9 years. So I had to work full time. And so when we got together, I was like, whoa, I'm going to work. He's out there. Let me find some type of common ground. So I said, teach me what you know about reselling. And he did. I did it as a hobby. But when I was ready to come home, I had that reselling to fall back on. And I took that full force in 2018, and I started reselling full time. Now, the community, because they've embraced me, it's created a platform for me to now consult. Then I wrote an ebook. Then I started a podcast. Then I started the YouTube. So all that was an extension, as you know, from reselling. But I also, run other businesses where I'm teaching people how to start a business. Teaching people how to create their own shirts, their designs, and put them on T-shirts and mugs and things like that. So
sense of branding, maybe.
Yeah, and it's definitely so. I am my brand, Leslie, but a reseller's passion is how I'm identified in the brand. Yeah, it's been an incredible journey.
I would say so because in listening to and boy, I love the way you talk because you pack it all in there. You're good. Is that and it's like, well, we got an hour, and thank you by the way for if you don't know, Leslie,
I do this, so I just want to make sure you know what I mean.
But I want you to feel comfortable because I'm gonna get into a little bit of a different question. I'm trying not to be mean and throw some fastballs, but you got your mitt on. Let me tell you, what I've noticed, like you were saying, Leslie, you reached out to your husband. You asked him, like, I want to learn this and that. Obviously, you're a lifelong learner. Where did you get that? What was the young little girl, Leslie, when she was in elementary school? Like, was she always curious? What was she like? What did she, you're a creative type too. Talk about that.
Yeah, I'm definitely a creative type. I've always been a creative type. When I was young, yes, I was actually a really great student. But we go back to journaling. When I was younger, I used to keep journals. I actually used
you were a writer. That's a creative.
Every day. Yes, I used to write stories. I actually won a couple awards. I won like a statewide award one year when I was in elementary school, and I had to read.
That's an influence, isn't it?
So it's definitely started like my speaking career. But I paint, I draw, I journal, I write stories. I'm always like want to be busy with my hands, because what that does is, like, if I get stressed or whatever, I go to the creative side. So I leave the reselling alone. Then I'll go and tie-dye or bleach some shirts, and then I can sell them because I have an Etsy store for that. So
about like, I remember I learned this, and it was by accident, and I thought I was being clever, and I gave this title to an artwork like called something psychological creative anxieties, but then I went, it's true. Like, we get these like creative anxieties, and so in an anxiety is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a natural state. Like, but the thing is, can you observe it, whether it's in body, mind, or spirit? Is my mind okay? My mind's racing. Oh no, my body, it's like I can feel it all tensed up. My spirit, whether it's your emotional or intuitive side, you just gotta be like, where am I right now? Like, what part of that center am I? And like, oh, I see where those tension points are. And it's not a bad thing. Like, change it around. That's what I was trying to tell you. The observation practice is like, how can you look at it differently? I've been taught that. I didn't realize I've been taught that like 3 different times in my life, which was interesting because there were 3 different stages of my life. Once when I was really young, once in my formative, like my middle age kind of like, era, now right where I'm at, which I could really consider my middle age. But it's like, I have to take this serious. Whatever I'm learning, I'm a learner. I love to learn. I want to learn because the day you stop learning, what happens, Leslie? You stop growing, right?
I actually took advantage of learning. Udemy is an online course. You can take courses. I took 8 courses this year, just to learn. Yes, I did. Like,
when do you sleep? How is your sleep?
I sleep, and I sleep very well. Well, it's just like you said. It's like I don't have a college degree, and I'm okay with that.
No, that doesn't matter. Trust me, I got a master's. It didn't mean a damn thing.
And that is actually, I'm glad that you shared that, because I do say that, and some people kind of get offended. But I'm like, wait, are you working in your field though? Or I don't have any student loans. I don't owe the government. I tell that.
See, that's where I would like never do it again, because I got caught up in that spider web.
Like, I'm smart. Like, my husband doesn't have a degree, and he's like the smartest person I know. So it's all about like what you learn.
There's intelligence, but there's also wisdom inherent in that. You can connect those two, and because the wiser you are, I think it makes you very intelligent.
And it's like, people go to school and you want to because you want to get that job or whatever. But I'm like, I haven't had student loans. So it's people who are working and they're still paying for student loans 15 years later, you know.
True.
What you saying over there?
Here's our little one.
Hey, I'm used to little ones.
Oh, he went away. That's
Yeah.
his name is Louis too. It's like, hey, buddy.
Hey,
Say hi to Leslie.
Nice shirt you have on. Can I see the front? Awesome shirt. How old is he?
Luis, you're on mute. You unmute yourself, buddy.
It's all right. He's 6 years old.
6, yeah. I have a
told you he's full time. This one, he don't man, he got so many hats on. Like, but I told him, I said, let's go with it. We got to do this show. And thankfully, talking about gratitude, we're able to have a show like this so we can have a beautiful guest like you to talk about these. I think these are important things to talk about in times like we'll just say times like these, because this is a gift we're given. How we interpret it, like I said, remember I said how you change the direction of how you perceive it and take it in. You can make it work, you know.
I agree with that 100%. It's like some people have been really seriously affected by what's going on, but some people haven't. So it's like, can you take that and now turn it into something positive? I took 2020 and I smashed 2020. And create.
I think it took 2020 to really kind of give me a renewed sense of purpose of like, why are you doing this? What is your intention? Are you serious about reselling? And is it only reselling you want to do? No, because I'm a creative type and I've stopped doing my art for a long time, but I crave it every day. I'm getting back to that journal a little bit. I got like a stack of brand new journals I find when I go to the bins, and I'm like, that poor journal, and I take it with me, and I'll give them to my daughter or something. But it's like, it's always there. It's instinctive. It's like, I know that's going to be the death of me if I don't slowly get back into it with the regiment, or like you said, sit in bed and just write one sentence. That's all you need.
Exactly. Take a few minutes. It doesn't take a lot. Yeah.
So what is your favorite? How am I going to say? What is your favorite thing or form of writing you like to do? Is it just stream of conscious? Is there anything specific you like to write, or you like just to kind of let it go organically and just whatever you write?
Yeah, I let it go organically. I was trying to see if I could find, if I had my hand on a journal. That stuff is in my bedroom, but yeah, I actually like to write whatever comes to my mind. That's the purging, right? Just like let it go. Especially if I'm in a space where I'm like upset about something. Well,
I always say there's this psychological unloading that people do. They don't know it. Like when you have, like, you had 10 kids. I don't need to tell you what happens when they got some issues, and then it's all of a sudden, no. And it's like, oh, here it comes. Here comes that psychological unloading of their unconsciousness, because what's the deep root of the issue there? So like when we do it as ourselves, whether you're an artist or, I think it's a great business practice. Let's talk about it from a business perspective. You put down some stuff on pages. You may see something. You come back to go, I didn't see it. Did I write that? What? Oh, wow. I get it now. I get it. It's a form of like stepping back, would you say?
Yeah, but also it could be someone's creative purging, which eventually could become a book or something, right? Oh, Sir Flips a lot. What's going on in Germany, my friend?
Is Louis. That's Louis. And speaking of what you were talking about, Leslie, he had a live the other day with a nice gentleman by the name of 3Gen Hustle. And he's 3Gen Hustle. Look for him. He's new in the community. He's really a wonderful guy. And Louis, Sir Flips a lot, had him on. They were talking about books, and he's got a book too. He's out there. He's doing it. And I think it's business people, people that are entrepreneurs that want to get in and be a reseller and get in, because we don't want to just do reselling. We want to do it so it can take care of itself, and then we can focus on these multiple sources of income. But is that a concern of yours?
That's it. What? One more time?
Multiple sources of income?
I do have multiple sources of income that keep multiplying. That's also the key.
That was just my question. Like, that's a concern. Like, it's important for you to have that, right?
Well, I think everyone should have at least a second form, especially if you think about the way that the world is. And I'll give you an example. People send me messages all the time, like, how can I become a full-time reseller? And what I tell them is, don't prepare to become a full-time reseller, prepare for life. The
Yeah.
things you should already be doing, you should already be saving, you should already have an emergency fund. So when things, what's going on now happens, you have a little cushion. So that you can ease into full time, but are you prepared for all the things that you need to have in life? You know, medical insurance or whatever it is that you need to have. So I believe that everyone should have at least some type of hustle. And I also believe, which is basically how I live my life, being able to take that creative outlet that you have and then turning it into a side hustle.
Yep.
That's the key right there. And then
it's possible. You just got to really contemplate it and like just tweak it and go, you know what, I can do something with this. Like, I think that's
times.
You know what? I agree with you. Like, it took me a while, like where I need money. I'm not ashamed. People are like, why you do flea markets and this? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I get cash flow. They go, well, I said, what would you say if you had $1,000 of cash in your pocket?
Yeah.
And they go, wait a minute, what are you saying? You made that much? And I'm like, yes, I have, you know? And I said, but you gotta work for it. And I'm telling you what, those are like 12 to 14-hour days, stress the day before, you know. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, no, my husband does flea markets. He's actually about to release a book on an ebook on how to be a flea marketer. But
we're gonna have you come back with him next time. We're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Because there's a gentleman by the name of Leroy, and if you're moving, you said you're moving North or South Carolina?
North.
Okay. Yeah. He's in. He just stepped in. I don't know if he's listening because he has connectivity issues, but Blood, Sweat, and Cell. He's an awesome guy. His name is Leroy. He's in South Carolina. He and I connected on the note of we call him the tool guy, but he does a lot of flea markets too, and his strategy is very unique. Like if you're getting this stuff and you don't, you're not too like married to it. Are you here to collect stuff and be in the storage business or to sell it? You know,
my husband, he's like, what did I pay for it? Bam, I need a couple times what it's worth, and he gets it out.
You may have paid $2 for this, and it's worth $200. I'll sell for 150 or 100 if it gets it out the door.
Get it out the door. That's right. We're not supposed to be holding stuff in the storage at home.
Exactly.
Some of us do, and we're gonna talk about that in another, not with you, but hoarding is a big one that I love to talk about. Like, because from mindful practice, that's we do get it. Not some of us. I have this joke with Luis. I go, today I'm like 45% hoarder. I got to get through this death pile. I'm going nuts, and get it down a little bit, and it's like, because, it's always about like, what can we do? What are we doing with our practice? I love that you said you can take a creative aspect of yourself, turn it. What can you do to make it, generate some income? The reason I mentioned the flea market was I was finding all these denim jackets. They were perfect, but I had ones that were like kind of on the verge of, what is that? What's that? Old Navy looking kind of, they're not that vintage. They're not I was tearing them up and tagging them and putting buttons on them and stuff. And I'm like, I see what you're doing. I was gravitating back to that creative aspect. But you know what? Flip those suckers for $50-$60.
Hey, look.
I paid nothing for it. Put some old pins on it and I sewed patches. It didn't take me, that was my time because I'm paying myself. Like, that's $50. It only took me less than an hour to create this whole thing. I'll take $50 an hour any day. So this is 2021. Do you have like multiple goals? Like, do you have a baby goal? Do you have a medium goal? Do you have an end year result goal? Do you have anything in mind? Would you like?
Yes. So I currently have 2 ebooks. My goal is to try to write about 4 more ebooks. And I'm starting on, I have 5 biological children. So I want to write a children's book about each of them. So I already have an illustrator because I have a daughter who has a medical condition. I have a daughter who's on the autism spectrum, and I don't want my other 3 children out. So, just them, the name of, and then something just simple, not a long book.
And the gift will come when you're writing about it. Cause like you'll say, where's that little star in there? Yeah.
Exactly. And then business wise, I do a lot of consultations, but I'm trying to sway away from the one-on-one. So like we were talking about earlier about the Clubhouse app. That's going to be a game changer for me. I've been on 3 weeks and I've held a room every day. And so I'm making new connections. And like for me, the numbers aren't important. Like everything that I've done, Like on Instagram, it's been organic. It surprises me every day. And just being on the app for Clubhouse for 3 weeks, I've already got about 400 new community members, and that's what I call them. They're not my followers. So
that was something I was going to ask you. Is like I noticed. So your Instagram game's a little different. We did talk a little bit about it. I don't know if we did once we started the live. I think we did, but your Instagram game is like on cue. You are great. But I've had arguments with people like, I don't care. I wish I never started the Instagram game because it never affected my. I'm like, I don't believe that. I believe it cross pollinates. What is your opinion on that?
Oh, it totally cross pollinates. Like as I indicated with you, I took that time off to create. I took a year off. I stopped at 130 subscribers here on YouTube. Then I went over to Instagram, built that up, came back a year later, and now I'm monetized. Like I'm sitting at 600. That I 4 months it was monetized from May to September. So it's like building a community one place, and then you can take a little bit from YouTube. I split down a video, and then I put that into Instagram, and I give them a little taste over there.
Let's be honest, you gotta put the work in it, right?
It's not easy. People think like Tiana can tell you, Swag Slayer Fashion. She's building. After she met me and we started talking, she was like, "Oh, I can be on YouTube." So she takes her content now and switches it over. And same Glow Girl Glow, they're just getting started. But I definitely say you have to put the work in it and then have fun with it. Like if your goal is to be monetized, don't it's not going to work for you. If you think, oh yeah, I'm going to be monetized, it's not going to happen. So just have fun, do the best videos that you can. If you're not tech savvy, show up. Your audience will show up for you.
And I think it's also important to remind them on the opposite side of the table is that they need to do the work too. Like if you feel like, I don't know anybody and this and that, don't feel afraid to reach out. Like today, I'm glad everybody in the live is getting to know each other. By the way, as Juju, I gave you a wrench. You're welcome to drop some links in there if you want. But what I was going to say is exactly what you said. Now, I didn't mean to interrupt you a little bit because I was trying to hear you. I'm not just listening. I'm hearing what you're saying because it is so important to put that work in. I just didn't want to give this, false premonition because people think, oh, you come in here and it's easy. You get your 4,000. No, you can do it and cheat. But if you don't really put the hard work into it, I see you flourishing because I can see what you're doing. It's because you're really focused. And I think that to me is a mindful merchant. So I just want to say thank you for being here, Leslie. It's a, I didn't even give a chance for Luis to ask any questions today. I'm so mean to him.
No, it's fine. I was listening to what Leslie has to say. It's just, she's very genuine. It's just everything around her. She's very positive, and that's something that that always helps anybody that's having a rough day or maybe just not getting started to a good day. So she brings that positive energy. So thank you.
It's a gift. So we thank you for doing that. What Luis said, I'm gonna It's what he said. Like Luis tells me about different people. And he's like, oh my God, if you want to feel good, our first guest here was Emily Conway, and she talks about some of the stuff you mentioned. Being authentic, not being. She talks about anxiety openly, and she's not afraid to talk about that. But so many other things you talked about. But he said, watch her TikTok. That'll bring a spark to. I've learned lately. I've been watching you, and I'm like, I need some grounding. I want to go. I want to get me some Leslie time and go. Thank you for being here. And right now, you're not just an important part of this community. I think you're essential to what is happening. And I think this is going to be a new year that's going to be if people just open their minds, open their hearts, and do it and try to see things in a new way. I think we're all going to come together a little stronger and tighter. And I think and lovely that we got to meet some of your acquaintances in circles in Europe, I don't care if it's just one person or 100 people. We love them all, and we just hope that anybody's really watching this. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you for watching a full hour. Hopefully, we're gonna our goal this year. We're gonna work on doing some podcasts. We're hoping to strip this sound and make these into podcasts so that people can take it and go.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
And not have to watch it live and go. Jumping on that trip.
I have a podcast. I do tips and tricks, and I used to have guests through Zoom, but now I go live every Thursday. I have a guest, and then I have some sporadic ones. And I just do tape right from the YouTube, and I strip it down and
Yep.
bring the audio.
And you did, yeah. Like you are a true entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm 203 episodes in. You know,
That's awesome.
203. I'm in season 3. Yeah, 400.
Wow.
I think it's 149,000 downloads. Yeah.
Yeah, now I see, ladies and gentlemen. So, like, if you're looking for somebody to inspire you, I mean, yes, if you're a female in the community that's wanting to be an entrepreneur, let alone a reseller or whatever, just about creative type, come watch Leslie. But if you're a dude, you better open your eyes. You better learn, because she's a teacher. She's here to stay.
My husband, I'm gonna tell you real quick. He said to me 2 years ago, I want to start doing videos and all that. And I was like, I'm not getting in front of the camera. And then I flipped it, and now I'm in front of the camera. We went to a couple events, and people were coming up to me, and he was like, "What is going on over here? How did these people know you?" I'm like, "From Instagram, sweetie." And someone just contacted me today and said, they commented on that same post for Martin Luther King, and you're home cleaning, but I just saw your husband at the bins.
It's a small world, you know. It is a small world, and that's I think that's another point I want to segue into, is that everything you do, putting these YouTube videos. If you're a person that's here watching this, because some of it is because you're a content creator, whether you're a reseller, doesn't matter. If you're a content creator about creativity, whatever you want to do, people are watching. People are watching, you know. So put on your best suit, give them your best smile. Don't, you know, do your best
smile. But there are going to be days when I'm real with you. Like, it's okay to not to be okay. You know.
Well, I noticed you really don't. You're not a powder or anything, but like you got this deep look. Like, oh, she's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're thinking. You're deep thinking. Like, I would not want to interrupt you in the morning. You're like, shh, shh, shh.
Yeah.
I thank you for sharing part of your story. Listen, we would love to have you come back. We don't know when. You know, we don't know what's going to happen in store in this next year, but hopefully we would love to have you back sometime this year.
Definitely.
Yes, I accept right now.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, we want to just say this is a gift to the community. Thank you for us, because, you know, as a content creator and doing live, it's not easy. But we would love for you can talk to your husband about it. We would love to have him with you as a couple, as a power couple. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, check out those. We used to do Tucker Talks. We'll probably get back in there. I bring them on all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to do a series called Tucker Talks. It's there.
Okay. I want to hear about. Oh, real quick, we're going to say hi, Gravity Goods. He's a young man, and he's not young, but like I would say, he's young. He's younger than me, so he's somewhere in the West Coast. And Gravity Goods is Cameron. He's
Cameron.
Yeah, he's really good. Cameron, if you don't know Leslie, you better get on it. Go give her some love. Let me tell you. And Swag Slayer Fashion. It was nice to meet you. And where's Juju? She's in there too.
Yeah.
Joy, or I'm getting all mixed up here. Am I saying it right?
So, what days are your lives? She wants to know.
Oh, me? Or with us? Luis and I, we go back and forth. We do it every Monday, right? Luis, you tell them.
Every Monday, we switch off. Like today, we had it on Louis' channel. Next week, it'll be on my channel, and we just go back and forth. So.
Oh, Luis, would you like to announce who our guest is next week? Because we're about to cut this short here. We want to respect.
Next week, we're going to have a very special guest come on. He's kind of one of our biggest guests we've had so far, besides Leslie. Because Leslie is also one of our biggest guests we've had. We're going to have Slobby Robbie. If you guys don't know who he is, you guys can see his show on Netflix right now. Slobby's World.
I watched Slobby.
Yeah, he'll be on my channel live next week.
Nice.
So make sure you guys tune in next week. And
he's got some big shoes to fill, because he's got to come up behind Leslie. He better.
He does.
To meet him, yes, I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Monday, Leslie, we're just so excited. Luis, what next week we're gonna have him on your show, right?
Yeah, he'll be live on my channel next week. So make sure you guys come hang out with us. You guys, so you guys can hear what he has to say from a reseller's perspective, being mindful, and also an entrepreneur and a businessman. So We're gonna get to hear his story as well, how he got started. So make sure you
Not
guys
this
join us.
persona. We're going to talk to, and his real name is Robert, and you know,
Yeah.
I think it's Robert Hall, I think. But anyway,
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Cameron.
oh, that's awesome. Good. So, Night's Life, by the way, I didn't mention him. He's out of the United Kingdom. He's a wonderful bloke. He's awesome. He's a good guy. Oh, she made it. Save here first. Yay.
How you doing? Save here first. She's here.
She's here. And you guys, once again, we want to say, everybody give a quick shout out real quick in the live. Say thank you to Leslie. You guys, if you don't know her, start watching her a little more. You're going to see changes in your business practice, your mindset as an entrepreneur. And as I like to say, as we finish up the show, maintain your focus and let's elevate. And thank you for being here, Leslie. Thank you.
Thank you, Louie.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you so much. Thank you, friends. I love you. Thank you. This was awesome.
We hope to do it again soon. So we're going to end it here. Stay here, Leslie. And once again, this is the Mindful Merchants. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next week.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
Yes. Have a blessed day. Take care.